Hello and welcome everybody. This is Deidre Johnson with Mom's Blog 2. And here we've got something really cool to talk to you about today. We have our VIP contributor, Jessica Eastman Stewart, who's going to talk about everything that she has to contribute for the back to school, back to blogging, free bundle and everything. And so as one of our VIPs, she has a really cool product that she wants to talk to you about and really talk to us about her and her business. So first off, we're going to talk with Jessica. And Jessica, tell us first about, who you are, and what you do.
Absolutely. So I am a former executive. I led a nonprofit for a long time. And then am a mom of two kiddos. They're just started fifth grade and third grade. And we're based in the Northern California area, a little bit east of San Francisco. And what I do is I help folks get more organized at work and also at home. So that's a little bit about me.
All right. So I love that. And of course, who doesn't need to be more organized?
Yeah,
And
it's true.
especially, now, of course, as we're talking about back to school, we're talking about kiddos going back to school and just trying to stay organized and everything. And really, it's not just the kids, but, we as moms, we as parents, we're trying to get organized and really get back into the grind of doing everything as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so much to manage all of this stuff that we're dealing with. I mean, I in the last my kids just started school. In the last week, I think I've downloaded 3 new apps for my phone just to keep up with like this classroom uses this and this. I mean, just that's one little slice of what I'm dealing with, but I know that all of us are just like things coming in from all different directions for us to think about. It is overwhelming. The life ops and the work ops, all the operations of everything it's intense.
And as I say, we're doing all the things like all the time. So, when I hear that, I'm always like, oh, it makes me think of more things I have to do. And so it's not just, personal, but also, in our business lives as well. And so you have a product that can really help us with that. So talk to us about your product and really how it can help.
Absolutely. So what I've contributed is a course about a concept that I like to call polishing up your systems. And it can be a polished day, it can be a polished week. But the idea, I started this when I was a nonprofit executive director. And the idea was that there are so many things that we need to take time to kind of refresh in our work. And it's hard to find that time because these tasks are never going to be the most important thing in a given morning, in a given day, even in a given week. And yet, when we neglect them for too long, they start to create a lot of friction in our ability to get things done. So, let me give it a couple examples. Updating your computer software. I mean, how many of us just see the little pop up and we're like, later, later,
Right.
later, and like at some point, you're like, my computer's running slowly, it's not working, and you kind of are forced to do it in the middle of an important day. Or cleaning off your desk, your actual physical workspace. And you're like, that post-it is from September last year, or your email inbox is just overwhelming, and you've got so many things. You don't feel like you have time to just actually sit there and be like, let me get this under control. And so a polished day or a polished week is really an opportunity to pause on some regular cadence and do all that stuff. Get all that stuff cleaned up so that every single day following is way more efficient and effective than it otherwise would have been.
So I love that you said, of course, that it also is not only about, really organizing yourself and what you have to do in your business and everything, but it's about like polishing everything. So it's kind of like starting over almost, right? Like getting set, getting everything back to like where it should be.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people could call it like an equilibrium week or like a clearing the decks week. It's just about kind of creating the space and order you need to be able to actually do the highest, best use of your work, and getting this ritual in place. I mean, I know some folks who do it twice a year for, multiple days. They'll take a break around in July when maybe things are a little bit slower, maybe in December. That's often a slower time for some businesses. Others say they're going to take, one day a month to do it this way. Some people take a couple days every quarter. I think there's a lot of different ways you could think about it. But if you can get the discipline to actually take time and do these polishing up tasks and kind of knock through a list that is appropriate for you, you're going to be able to have a much more organized work world and a much less friction work world, because you won't have so many things kind of just distracting you and getting in your way.
Right. And so the course is called Refresh Your Business Systems course. But I love that how you also run, your business called Joyfully Managed Life. So you don't just have this course, you have other products and other ways to help those of us that need it. So talk to me about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I just want everybody to have more joy and ease in life, and in work. And so that's what I do. I am the kind of person who wants people to think about their work and home systems, so they create more ease for folks in their lives, so folks can find freebies on my website that are about, getting setting. I have a system in my home called the Daily Five. It's about getting more organized at home. What are the 5 things that need to happen each day in our home to keep us from totally descending into chaos, which is not everything. That you can't do everything every day, but what are the things that really matter for you? So those kinds of systems at work, at home, I have a course about how to get your email under control, which works at both work and at home, as well as create some joy in your, so I've got like a meeting icebreaker freebie on my website where it's got 15 pages of meeting icebreaker questions that allow people with their clients or with their, their family at dinner time or within a meeting at work, find questions that kind of create joy and community together and help people get to know each other. Or, one thing I love to share with people is like how to have a weekly family meeting to really get everybody on the same page about the logistics and the priorities of the family, which also includes, joy, and creating space to plan the stuff that makes people happy and, problem solve around the stuff that's creating stress for folks. So yeah, I love anything about creating more joy, creating more ease. That is what I love to do.
And that's so perfect right now. We were talking about the schedules and everything and really just trying to get into a groove of things. As much as we try sometimes, we fail sometimes and that's okay. But I love how that, your products and your business and everything really help us to get back, as I say, grounded and get back focused on what's really important and everything. So, of course, the back to school, back to blogging free bundle is really just to help people get back centered. And as I say, we had so much fun during the summer. Kids are out of school, and sometimes as parents and everything else, business owners, we're also kind of off track as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we did some traveling this summer, which, now that our kids are school age, it's harder to travel when they're in school. And so, and I, just got back this weekend and I'm just so grateful for the routine again, because everything is, I just noticed that our whiteboard where we keep kind of our center of the world in our house is like 3 weeks old because we were traveling, so of course we weren't updating it, right? We weren't even here. And yet, like we need to get that stuff back together. Right. And so, yeah, it is definite. And there's some beautiful energy to that back to school energy of like, fresh start, it's almost like a little bit like the new year, for families. And so it's absolutely a great time to figure out what matters most, stop doing other things, and, drink a little hot chocolate, get into the fall, put on a sweater. I wish the weather was matching up with this.
Right.
Because it's not quite where I am feeling very fall, but
Right.
I am enjoying the back to school energy.
Yeah, and of course, we're so grateful and thankful that you're offering the Refresh Your Business Systems course for free, during the bundle and everything, which is awesome. What other tips, whether it's like 1 or 2 tips that you have also for parents or business owners, because we really we have like double hats, triple hats. We're parents, we're business owners, entrepreneurs, we're problem solvers, you name it. And, any tips that you can provide would be great.
Absolutely. Well, I would say number one is just every season cannot be the season for everything. You cannot be the person who is, making an amazing dinner every night, reading a book every week, going for a run every day, salads for lunch every day, kicking butt at work, staying in touch with your friends, taking care of your aging parents, like being the parent of the year, volunteering at the library. Like you can't be that person. That is not a realistic situation. So I actually find that really freeing to know that it's impossible for me to be all those things at the same time. So you've got to figure out what matters for you and deliberately name what is not mattering to you and let that be okay for a while. When my kids were little, I remember thinking, I should be reading. I'd see people like, I read this many books this year. And I was like, I read 0 books this year. I did read Facebook. Like I was like, that's what I've read. I also read email. Like I was like, I don't read books. And I felt so bad, like I should be. Or another time I remember seeing somebody saying, like, oh, we're gonna go on, 24 hikes this year as a family. And I was like, we should be going on hikes as a family. I don't think I've ever taken my kids to like hiking. And the reality is, you can't be all that. So I remember saying at one point, I'm not feeling bad about reading. I don't read in this stage of my life. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. Maybe it'll come back. And the reality is, now that my kids are older, reading is back. I read a lot now and I love it. But when they were little, it just wasn't going to work for me. Another thing was I just couldn't be stylish. I couldn't do it. I was like, I'm going to wear these black flats, a pair of black pants, and a top to work every day. That's what I'm going to wear because I can't do it. But I would see other people and be like, wow, look at how like earrings match the shoes. Should I be doing that? And the answer is no. At that time, I couldn't do it. So you got to figure out like, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I don't care about that because I do care about this thing. And I do care about this thing, and that will change as you move through chapters of your life. And this thing that you care about now will fall away. Something else will take its place, and sometimes that happens by choice. We get to decide. I want to prioritize exercise right now, or I want to prioritize a really calm bedtime for my family, or I want to prioritize getting more sleep, whatever it is, right? And then, you get to decide that. And sometimes the life decides for you. Like your kid is sick, you have an aging parent who has some sort of crisis, and suddenly, your priority to like get more sleep or read more books is like falling away because you have a new priority that you didn't choose, but life chose for you. And that's okay. And you just say, you know what, we're in this season now, and I don't read anymore because I am prioritizing taking care of this person in my life or taking care of myself now that I'm sick. And so just letting it be okay to just drop things. Like a quote I like was, I won't remember it verbatim, but it was, the journey will be hard. Is there anything you can set down? So set something down on purpose. Stop letting it take your joy that you are not a hiking family or you are not a home cooked family. Don't let it take your joy. Just say, that's not who we are right now. It'll be okay.
And I love that because we put so many expectations on ourselves. Like you said, I think a lot of times they say, we're trying to be perfect moms, super moms all the time,
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, it's not possible. So
Yeah.
great. It's not, now that we know it's not possible, stop worrying about it and just decide what matters for you, name that, tell other people, and let it be okay. And just live in that season that you're in.
That's right. And it will be okay. That's the other thing is that you have to
Yeah.
realize that, and everybody's going through different things at different times. And that's why it's always great to, like you said, be centered and realize, this is a season. So, maybe I'm not reading books every day, right now, but maybe in the future that will happen. Or maybe I'm not totally put together 100%, now. And I know we all experienced that during the pandemic, and everything. It was just like,
Yeah.
well, whatever is whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like maybe it is the season where your kids watch more screen time than you wish was idea than you wish. But you're just like, this is how we're surviving, is like we've got Paw Patrol. You know what I mean? And Paw Patrol helps us survive at this stage. Maybe you're there and that's okay. It doesn't always have to be that way. Just because you say, oh, my kids are watching, screen time when I take a shower in the morning, doesn't mean that's always how it will be. You can just say that's okay for right now. That is getting me through. It's getting me the space to take a shower and start my day without feeling super stressed. Well, then that is a worthwhile investment. You know what I mean? And you're not saying that this is how it will be forever, So just give people I encourage people to give themselves some grace and decide what doesn't matter and let that not matter for a while.
I mean, such great advice, like you said, and everything. And so, something that we can all appreciate, that we need to hear that a lot of times. Sometimes that, but it's hearing it over and over again, it's like, yeah, it is okay and everything. So
Yeah.
knowing that, and of course, like we said, anything else you want to say about the Refresh Your Business Systems course, or anything about, that you do that you want people to know about?
Absolutely. Well, there's a bunch of free resources on my website. So I encourage people to go to jessicaeastmanstewart.com/freebies, and you can find all sorts of free resources. I hope those are supportive to you. And I send a popular email newsletter that folks will get. They can unsubscribe, but if you sign up for any of my stuff, you'll get it. It's called the Friday Five. And it's got 5 tips every week. And I write it every week. So it's fresh. It's like, tips I'm seeing, like something to do, a setting to put on your phone that you might not have known about, or a really excellent recipe I just tried, or, a camp that my kids went to on Zoom that was really good. Or, the butter dish that is like, I just discovered or something, so it's 5 tips a week and people tend to love it. It's got almost 10,000 readers. And so I think people will enjoy that. I would love to. It's my favorite thing to do every week is write the Friday Five. It feels like a big old group text where I'm like, did you see this video? You need to watch it. Like, it's really good, or, y'all, you should get this like towel hoodie when you're camping. It is so good, so it's my tips for the world. And it is specifically written for working parents in particular. And I hope people really enjoy it.
And I think that's going to help people. Like you said, it's so simple. Like, okay, Friday Five. This is like things you can look forward to, things to look out for, things that will help you. Because I think that's also what we're looking for, is things that will help us along the way. So we're not trying to figure out everything on our own.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to do it alone. We can be in community. Yeah, and many of the tips that I end up sharing come from the community themselves. People are like, "Oh, you should share this thing people can sign up for to stop their junk mail in your Friday Five," and I'll be like, "Let me try it," and I'll go try it out and be like, "Wow, that's really helping me." And thanks, Emily. I'm going to share that back out to the community so that we can. So it's a big community too, which is something I really love as well.
All right. Any last words you want to say, or any parting words that you want people to know that are, going to be in the back to school, back to blogging and everything, that they're going to be part of the bundle? Anything you want them to know?
No, other than just like when you sign up for my course, I hope you'll click respond on the email. Those come straight to me, and I would love to hear, how it's helping you. If you've got any questions, I would love to be more supportive. I love to be in touch with people directly.
All right. Well, we want to say thank you so much to Jessica Eastman Stewart, our VIP contributor for the back to school, back to blogging free bundle and everything. And we're so appreciative of the advice, the great sound advice that you provided and everything, and helping us to figure out how to get ourselves back together, our families back together, and how to get back on track, as kids go back to school, and we also get back to business and everything. So I love that and appreciate it so much, and so excited that she's going to have her, product free for us in the bundle, which is amazing. So we appreciate you, of course, providing
Of
that for us,
course.
for all those. So, all right. Well, thanks again. And we appreciate it. And we'll see everybody inside the bundle.
Sounds great. Bye, everybody.